We have already given £100 million, so that's UK aid, which will make a difference across Somalia in dealing with the drought-affected area and the terrible situation that we are seeing on the ground with the famine. And the money will be used directly for emergency food, water, health and medical supplies, because that is the desperate need that is required right now across Somalia by the people that are suffering.
You say it will make a difference, that money, but is it enough?
We are seeing children, hundreds of thousands of children, that are on the risk of dying through starvation. So, of course, we need more money. And I think, your viewers in particular should feel proud that UK aid has led the way, led the world in terms of getting more resources into Somalia for food and emergency shelter and emergency equipment, food and water. But there is more that is required.
More required, but how did things get so bad? Should something have been done earlier?
Well, I think that is absolutely the challenge that we face. The reality is, of course, in Somalia, it is a country that has a history of conflict. And, of course, it is a country that is incredibly poor. And the UK has been there for some time. So we're not just there because of the famine. We are doing more now, obviously, because of the famine. But the UK, through our bilateral support, we have been working with the government in terms of getting democracy going, supporting their institutions. They've now got a new government there.
Of course, the last famine in Somalia was only 6 years ago. Have lessons been learned?
I think it's fair to say lessons have been learned. There's no doubt about that. And those lessons have been learnt within the international development community. So your reporter will see the aid community working together in a way in which 6 years ago in 2011, where the catastrophe was enormous, where hundreds of thousands of people died, where we are now seeing the international community work in a much more integrated way. There is more sharing of information, there is more cross-agency working, and really go into challenging parts of the country, which had been dominated previously by the likes of Al-Shabaab and other organisations that were stopping aid from getting in. So that progress has been made, but of course this is a major humanitarian disaster, and UK aid is doing absolutely everything that it can now, working with the international community to just urgently get need in food and water and medical supplies to people and to children that desperately need that support.
You will be fully aware, though, that there are allegations of excessive profiteering and unethical conduct among some aid contractors. Your department has been called to take a more robust approach. Is that something that worries you? And should the British taxpayer be worried as well?
Well, this is one of the first issues that I tackled when I came into the department. So just before Christmas, I announced a complete overhaul and a review of our supplier relationships. And that effectively covers the way in which we procure through third-party suppliers, but also the way in which contracts are awarded. So I've got my own review taking place right now, and I can be absolutely clear on this issue. I was the one that said that we have to end this culture of gross profiteering that has taken place. It has taken place, and there have been examples of that. We will change the way in which we work with contractors, the way in which we procure services in the aid community. And it's not just with the private sector, it's with not-for-profit organisations and NGOs. This will apply equally across the board. And I want to make sure that whoever we work with, that our aid partners are absolutely delivering for the world's poorest, delivering in terms of transparency, accountability and value for money. And that is something that I am leading in my own department right now.